What's up, everybody? Hope you guys have been doing pretty good. Dark Visor here, and thanks for listening. If you're here, I'm just going to jump right into it. So the closed network test for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds was this weekend, and what a trip it was. I will say that. And before I start, let me say this is coming from someone who's not just a Sonic fan, because some Sonic fans, they're either recent or anything Sonic, they'll just jump up and say it's peak because it's Sonic. I've been with the Blue Blur since the very start of this franchise. I literally grew up with it back when he had the all the old cereal commercials or something, Hedgehog 2, the Lifesaver giveaway, stuff like that. I grew up with Sonic since the start and have watched him to where he's at now for over 30 years almost. And so it's neat to see how they keep improving games, but I'm also a fan of racing / kart racer games, not just Sonic games. From Mario Kart to Mod Nation Racers, if anybody remembers that game, to games like Burnout and Need for Speed. I have a variety of game types I love. I'm not just a one and done type. So let's get to Sonic CrossRoads. It's basically, let me just start the beta. It's bright and it's colorful. It's more colorful than most kart races you're used to. Even more so almost than Mario Kart lately. It's actually nice to look at, and the characters look great. The cars all have a certain shine to them that's just awesome. And the little details, such as even the gears up under the tire frames or car frames, you're able to notice those if you actually spin the car around and look at it. Kart customization is pretty much like Mario Kart in the sense where you can mix and match parts to get different effects on speed and handling. In the beta, it didn't get very deep, and I'm guessing because there is one section that's left blank. I'm gonna say that more than likely what that's gonna be is a all-in-one section, because right now it's speed, handling, acceleration, and power. I'm pretty sure the last section is gonna be something that you can mix parts from everything. Because like right now in the beta, even if you mix parts, it didn't shift your stats that much. At most, you could maybe increase, like say if you were a speed type, you can maybe lower your speed by 3 points and increase your handling by another 3 or 4 points. It wasn't huge shifts, and like honestly, most of these races you're not going to notice it for specific reasons, which I'll get to in a second. But it's like Mario Kart, and on top of those different stats like that, there's also gears you can gain for your car to add benefits to your racing style, such as attracting more rings from further away, faster drift, boost gain, more attack or defense based items, etc. And these are based on a point system. So a move like say gain attack items may cost 1 point out of 4. And you will gain more points up to 6 as you progress through the game. But another move, like say, you can gain ring maxes out at 100. You can spend like 3 points and let that max out at 200, so you can go a little bit faster. So you can mix and match until you find something you prefer. But let's move to the controls, because that's something that really, that's probably my biggest issue with this game at the moment. If you're familiar with All Stars or Transform, go ahead and get those muscle memory playstyles out of your head, because this game controls nothing like them. Drifting is by far the hardest to get used to. It is hard to pin exactly how I want to describe it in this game. In All Stars, it was so finely tuned that a good player with the right racer, like say Shadow, because Shadow was OP. If you had Shadow or what is his name? Samba, here we go. It was broken. They were broken. You could destroy races with them snaking or just boosting in general, because it was so fine tuned. You could hug a corner and just make it, And they sort of want to move away from that snaking, because not everybody can snake. Even Mario Kart DS kind of moved away from that, because not everybody can snake, and I understand why they did it. So even in Transform, they made it so you couldn't snake, and it was harder to build boost, but it was still, you could still sort of hairpin turn drift around corners. In this game, if you start too early and want to wiggle the wheel, sort of like in Transformed or All Stars, you got to start in the middle. You can't hairpin these turns to successfully make a good drift. If you try to, you're gonna be face hugging the wall. Tricks can be put off in the air or water whenever you get enough. When you get like even a fraction of air, the trick system could be described kind of like Sonic Transformed, but not exactly like it. I want to say it's probably a mix between Sonic Transformed and the trick Sonic could do in the air in Sonic Frontiers, where you just flick the thumbstick and you'll do tricks and you'll land. It's much more forgiving also in its timing than Transformed, because Transformed, if you spun too fast, you would just mess up your trick. You couldn't just spam it real fast, or you would actually mess up. Or if you try to do too many tricks and you hit the ground in the wrong spot, you mess up. In this game, much more forgiving. You have a bigger window when you hit the ground when you're doing tricks that you'll just keep going. Like I said, so it's pretty good. Like sense of speed is good in this game somewhat, but at times there are certain times I've been hit, either no matter what class you're using, that it takes forever for your car to get back up to speed. And I'll get to that in like just a little bit here. Items are also another small issue I have with this game right now that need to be looked at and tweaked a lot before launch. I mean, a lot. It's to the point that I still have fun with races, but they are so badly broken. It's just annoying. If you're driving, you're going to get hit by something in some way at any and every moment in this game. Now, you can do good for a bit if you're in first and got some good defensive items, but you're pretty much going to be getting hit. And the small jank some items can put you into, I don't know if they were intended that way or what, but they need to be reworked, such as the buzzsaw skill item that can cut your cart in half. One race, I was in first place. I was doing fine and I was going off a ramp. That item hit me, and of course, I'm not saying the item shouldn't hit you, but when it hit me, what it did, when I went off the ramp, I don't want to say it glitched out, it janked out. I flew into the air, spun around, and somehow ended up under the ramp, and I went into 12th place. Now, a good racer, you can somehow make your way back from this if it's early in the race. But if it's on the second or third lap, you're not coming back in first. It's like there's no really good items like in Transform and All-Stars. You don't really have an ultimate. There is a monster truck mode, but gone are the days of Supersonic or say Aegis transforming into like the jets from Afterburner Climax and firing missiles at people, and actually getting a pretty good boost that actually pushed you back forward to first. Here, the only item, like I said, could be close to this is a monster truck item that turns you into a large, monster truck that lets you plow over other characters, but it's not going to push you back in the first. I've used it in 12th, and at most, like I said, after one of these mishaps from an item hitting me and knocking me off the map, I didn't get anywhere close to first. I was still in 12th by the end, and it was kind of annoying, But the game ends sooner than it begins. As soon as you get it, it's done with. So like I said, if you're not, it's better to hold on to if you're in fourth or something. But if you're in last, you're not getting pushed that far ahead unless you're like just on the cusp of 12th place. Like you can see 11th place, exhausting your face. The races, like I said, I've seen people say it online. They're very chaotic. It's still fun, but it's more annoying than Transformed and All-Stars. Closest I could say is Expert from Transformed, where the AI went out of its way to hit you at any given moment. Like if the AI was in second place and you were in fifth, and it had a snowball, it's going to try to hit you. It doesn't matter if it's like Sonic and Amy. If Sonic's in first and Amy's in second, and you're in fifth, it doesn't matter that Sonic's like 2 inches in front of Amy. She's going to try to hit you in fifth for some reason. I don't know why the AI had against you, but it almost never wanted to hit other players. It was always you. If it smelled you, it was going to hit you. Speaking of getting hit, this game takes another cue from Mario Kart in a way of the ring aspect. You gain rings based, as you race, and the more you have, the faster you go. The only bad thing is, though, any and everything causes you to lose rings. Now, earlier I mentioned the gear system. Now, you can get items that say, hey, if I hit another player, instead of losing rings, I'll gain rings, But if you touch another player, if you touch, get hit, touch a wall, you're going to lose rings. And the amount you lose is insane. Like, at the start of the race, you can have 100. If you get hit even twice, it feels like you lose everything and you're back down to 5. It feels jank, and I feel like they could they could honestly take it out and not be happy. Because it's just terrible. And it feels like they've stuck rings in it just because it's a Sonic. It's just Sonic. And speaking of that, on different websites, they have spoken of different characters coming into this game. And I want to say there may be, some other Sega franchises, again, like the old games, that could come back as extra characters. And so they could honestly get rid of the ring feature and it would not be missed, I don't think. They should rework it, I believe. Because at the moment, this game feels less about having skill as past games, and it feels more like an actual party type kart racer. Because the old games, I would go to anime conventions and stuff where they would have this game out for tournaments and things like this. This does not feel like a tournament game right now. It feels like a party game. It feels like a party Sonic game, to say, where it feels like it's so chaotic. The amount of items you're getting hit with constantly, ring losses, and just the overall poor items to actually help you get back into a race if you're in 12th or something like that. Right now, it doesn't feel like it's actually based on any kind of skill. It's based on whoever's going to get, if you get hit enough. It's kind of like that old GIF of I think it was Daisy or Peach in Mario Kart, where they're crossing the little wooden bridge and they get hit by every player going from 1st to 12th. Now that's not going to happen much in Mario Kart, but in this game, again, to me, as somebody who has literally poured hours, like several hundred hours, almost months to 100 hours into both All Stars and Transformed across PC and PlayStation, this game definitely feels more chaotic in the sense that it feels like there's no skill involved in who wins. It's just pray to God you get in 1st or 4th at the very end of the race and just don't get hit by something, because like anything else, like I said, if you get hit, you're not going to win. It's just terrible. And the amount of players that will pass you in the final lap because of the boost they have, like the final lap on the finish line, I think it should be removed. They literally give you like 5 boosts to get to the finish line. Like, they should just take that out. That's just stupid. It's saying, it's like, oh, for the last lap, we're just gonna put boost in here so that way somebody can't catch up to you if you're in 1st or something. No. Take it out, please. And for a final thing I'll touch on for this beta, because it's a little short beta, not much to it. A few characters here and there. The music, it's like Gerald said.
Oh, Ivo. You're no
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform.
It's no All-Stars or Transform. More so towards Transform than All-Stars, just because All-Stars is mostly just music from various Sega games, like House of the Dead, Jet Set Radio. It's just a soundtrack for those games in the game. Transformed actually had some nice remixes, like, for instance, Burning Rangers. Like, almost all the music is more whimsical in this game. It doesn't feel like, it's nothing that's just intense that gets you into the race. It's more whimsical, if I have to explain it. Like, you can listen to this, like, it's like the only time it actually kind of sounds intense is like when you go to the second lap and you go through one of the warp rings. It actually kind of amps up a little bit with the different worlds it takes you to. And the last lap music is just, God, it's something. I'll let you hear it. And it's fine at the moment because it's only a taste of, I'm sure, what we'll hear in the game because it's just a beta. But I really want to hear things like Alder's Lair or Burning Rangers from Transformed, because those things make you want to just yell out and scream, Burning Rangers. Or the flyover you get for the track while it plays this awesome, mix of these songs. It's like, man, this is actually getting me amped up for this race. in this game, in CrossWorld right now, it's just kind of like, it's just there. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, it's nothing that just really wants me to get me out my seat going, this is awesome. The final lap music is just annoying. If I just gotta be honest, it's annoying. You know, the choir and stuff like that, it's not even a good choir. It's not like a Phantasy Star choir where you're fighting the final boss. It's literally just this annoying, weird music. You know, and all in all, it's an okay beta. You know, I'm not saying it's bad like some people are saying that Doom posting and things like that. I still love it. And not like one of those younger fans is also going to just yell peak anytime Sonic pops up on the screen. You know how some fans are, some Sonic tubers, they'll just, it's peak, without explaining why it's peak. It's just because it's Sonic and it's peak. Like, no. Sometimes it's okay to critique Sonic. Now, if you're a Doom poster and everything Sonic you hate, and I can name a few people, but I won't do that, that's one thing. But if you're just saying, I got a few things they could probably fix, you know, but I still like it, that's fine. You know, but I'm not one of the people who are just going to yell peak because it's, you know, I want to find favoritism with Sega, or I'm like one of those hardcore Sonic fans that just wants to yell it anytime I see the blue blur, like I said at the very beginning of this video. Sega has been doing great lately. They've been in a row with their games, and I see this doing well. I see this being really fun, and I will get this. I'm going to buy this. I don't know when it's coming out. Nobody does, but I'm going to get this. I want to play a Sage and I want to hit Metal Sonic. I want to see what they say to each other. I want to see what they say to each other as brother and sister. I just want to see that. Do I see this toppling Mario Kart at the moment? Or even as a strong competition to Mario Kart? Not really. The past games weren't either. Again, All Stars and Transform, I love those games way more than I do Mario Kart games. But I'm not proud enough to admit that I know they did not eclipse Mario Kart. Mario Kart is just a different beast in itself. And that's not saying Sega shouldn't try, but I just feel like Mario Kart's a different beast, and I feel like when the Switch 2 comes out, people are going to, you know, see it's going to again probably eclipse this game. But we'll see, you know. But this game, like I said, it feels like it needs a little more time in the kitchen to get things just right. But it has to make enough a fun kart racer if it fixes some of these issues. Again, I would like if it, I mean, I know it's not going to go back to the styles of All Stars and Transform because that was Sumo. It's a Sega. But it will be nice if they could somewhat try to get that feel back, both the controls and the races feeling not as chaotic. If it means less items or something like that, that's fine. Because like right now, it's just too chaotic, and I've had too many races where, again, I come in first in several races, but it's too many where one wrong item will hit you and it'll just screw you up. And you know, it's just bad at times. And like I said, even like the boosting in certain like levels when you transformed, I think there's one on the pirate ship where I was playing the Shadow and I couldn't get the speed. Like I had top speed and I had a boost, but as soon as I hit the water, Shadow just came to like almost a stop, and I couldn't get up the ramp once you transform back into a car and got past again. It feels like it's just some things need to be put back in the kitchen, just cook a little bit more, and this could be a fun kart racer. Right now, like I said, it's just too chaotic, you know, in a sense. But don't let me say that make you think I think this is a bad game. No, like I said, I'm gonna get this game, I'm gonna buy it, I'll play it. But it's not the best it could be right now. Again, I really don't like comparing it to old games. But again, I pour so many hours into old racing games and stuff like that, and I love racing games. Again, this one has more of a, I just don't feel, it doesn't feel competitive right now. Again, it feels like it's less skill and it's literally more just luck of the draw. You know, old games, you could literally, you know, do pretty good. Even without items, you could do pretty good. And this one, it feels like you get hit the wrong thing, you're just screwed up, you know. If some items don't work, you know, don't hit anything, and it's just, you know, some more time in the kitchen can be a good thing for this game. But those are my thoughts for right now. I'm going to probably play it a little bit more this weekend before it ends, and then go back to playing Transform to All Stars. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think.